The first thing I did today was watch the One Piece live action because I just needed to know if it was good.
I'm tearing up, man. I'm tearing up. I'm at the scene where he tells Kobe to follow his dreams. That's one of my favorite parts of the manga. Oh my god, I'm getting emotional. Oh man.
Yeah, so I got my answer. It's pretty good so far. Before starting these 2 episodes, I had a list of questions I had about the series. I just needed answers to. Number 1, is the CGI gonna be good? Because honestly, dude, this is like a big make or break for something like this. Number 2, I'm pretty sold on the entire cast so far, except for Luffy and Usopp. I'll get into Usopp in the next video because he appears in episode 3 and 4, and we're only going to cover the first 2 in this episode. But when it comes to Luffy, I didn't know if Inaki was going to be able to actually pull off the Luffy charm. Is Inaki going to be able to actually have that Luffy charisma? Number 3, is the crew dynamic actually going to be good, or is it going to be awkward? Please don't be awkward. Number 4, KOBY is one of my favorite characters in the series, so I really hope they just don't fuck him up. Seeing him in the trailer like this, yeah, he doesn't look the best. Number 5, are they gonna nail the Luffy and Shanks backstory? Because this is like the foundation of everything, right? And then number 6 are the fight scenes actually going to be good? This is a battle shonen, right? And so if the shonen is becoming a live action, the battle scenes better be good. Now I'm scared, dude, because they fight fish. They fight fish, and oh no. Okay, so those are my initial couple of questions going into the series. Now let's actually dive into the first episode. Okay, so right away, this opening shot puts a huge smile on my face. The fact that on this map, we get to see Mumu there just gave me some initial confidence that this show might actually be in some pretty good hands, because I just feel like little details like that are something that people who don't really care about the thing that they're adapting would just completely overlook. Moving on, we get to the Gold Roger execution scene, which I honestly thought was just okay. I felt like his dialogue was a lot better in the manga and the anime. I didn't really feel like, yeah, let's go after the One Piece when he spoke. I was just kind of like, oh yeah, okay, cool. Like this guy like put his shit in a box or something. I don't know. I did really like that we got to see a younger Mihawk, Shanks, and Dragon. I think this is Dragon. So now we get to see Luffy's introduction scene. I really like the fact that he says specifically he wants about 10 men on his crew. You could tell that the creators of the show are actually fans of One Piece. But now we run into my first couple of issues. So KOBY and Alvida, the stuff here isn't bad necessarily. I just think some of the shots were really weird, like this one in particular. What is KOBY doing? I also thought this area was just very dark, and KOBY in general just felt kind of awkward to me, but not in a good way, in a really bad way, actually. This next point, I understand it's a little unrealistic. I just wish Alvida was a little bit fatter. I wish she was just like, big ass fucking girl, taking up half the fucking ship, because it's just goofy, man, and that's just what One Piece is all about, goofy pirate manga. I wish she was just big as fuck. So yeah, the fight scene that we get between Alvida and Luffy is nice. I will say it's probably the worst fight scene in the series so far, which, way to start it off with a bang, right guys? I especially hate this shot of Luffy stretching like this. This broke my immersion, and I actually was so horrified that the rest of these scenes were going to be like this whenever we saw Luffy stretch. Thankfully though, that is not the case. Also, KOBY is pretty mid. I did not like him at all, which, yeah, sucks. Yeah, kind of bummed about that. Now then, we get to see the Zoro introduction, and man, this is just such an amazing change. It's mentioned later down in the story that Brokeworks actually went up to Zoro and offered him a position, and Zoro had turned it down. Now we actually get to see that moment. The Zoro fight was incredible. Wow, man. This is what Zoro's fights are gonna look like. I am so excited for stuff down the line. We could talk about Luffy's backstory right now, but they do this weird thing where they split it up amongst the first 2 episodes. So I'm actually gonna wait until later on in this video to talk about it. So yeah, let's talk about this boat scene where KOBY and Luffy are sailing off from Alvida's ship, and they're gonna be going to Shell's Town. This is the scene that I think really sold the fact that Inaki is going to be a great Luffy. I just think the idea of Luffy inspiring people to follow their dreams is just one of the best parts of the entire series. So when I was watching this, I started tearing up. I was like, yeah, yes, this feels like Luffy. It just made me so happy. Now we cut over to the Nami introduction where she takes advantage of the buggy clowns. There's 2 clowns instead of 3. I noticed that. Okay, you can't slip that past me. But this section is pretty much unchanged. It's solid. I'm surprised we're getting it this early on in the series though. This happens a little bit later down. So it piqued my interest. I was like, okay, where are they going with this? But now all the pieces are in place and it all moves in to this bar scene. So we have Nami there, we have Zoro, we have a Buggy the Clown tease. That was pretty cool. We have Luffy there and then Helmeppo and the little girl. And just wow, this might be the best scene in the entire first episode. I fucking loved it. The fact that Zoro takes down all these Marines without even pulling out a sword is just so cool. And Nami being there is weird, but it works. And I'm very surprised it does. Luffy and Zoro's introduction is nice. There's not much to it. Luffy convinces Zoro to chase his dreams, which I kind of have an issue with it because so Luffy earlier on in the episode, he tells KOBY to go and follow his dreams, and it's a really nice moment, and I feel like it's like a nice payoff for what they had just gone through. But when it comes to Zoro, like these motherfuckers don't know anything about each other. Like they have never met before. So Luffy just walking up to Zoro and being like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna do this. So like I think you should do this." And Zoro's just like, yeah, like, I think I should. Like, what the fuck? What? How does that even make any sense? If some random ass fucking dude on the street was just like, yo, bro, I'm chasing my dreams, and you should too. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. Holy shit, you're right. I should be chasing my dreams. Like, dude, that shit does not happen. Now we get Luffy and Nami meeting. It's good. I like the chemistry between them. There's not really much to say. Okay, and then we get to see a scene of Helmeppo being naked. I don't like that was like I had a list of things I wanted to see in the series. That was not one of them. Like we didn't need that. Okay, so now we're at the climax. We're at this courtyard fight scene. And I swear to fucking God, I really think that the showrunners are a huge Zoro fan. Out of all the crew members on Luffy's crew, Zoro has to be their favorite because, dude, they give Zoro the best fight scenes. They give him too much to do. It actually makes Zoro look like he's the captain and Luffy is just the first hand. The courtyard battle in general is really solid. And also, Luffy's CGI doesn't really look that bad. Now we get to see that our newly formed crew is heading off and KOBY chooses to stay behind, which put, honestly, a huge smile on my face. I also like the fact that he decks Helmeppo. It was just really cool. I really like KOBY standing up for what he thinks justice is all about. And then, holy shit, we get to see Garp, which Garp is, for some reason, Scottish. I don't know why they did that, but it's cool. I really like it. And what is the subplot that they're trying to build with him? Because Garp isn't there in this section normally. I think he makes his first appearance around, like, chapter 360. That is, like, the one change. I'm like, okay, what are you really going to do with this? Also, this Den Mushi, I need this. I want this. I wish I could own this. And then we end off the episode with Peak. Oh my God. Buggy is like really cool and really menacing. Overall, episode 1 was good. It was like really, really good. I would give this first episode probably an 8 out of 10. I had some issues overall, but honestly, it's better than I expected, because I wasn't really expecting that much. Now let's move on to episode 2. First of all, Nami's actress in this opening, if I wasn't sold on Nami before, this I think was the moment where I was like, yeah, no, I really like Emily Rudd playing Nami. I don't know, there was just something about Luffy annoying Nami and Nami annoying Zoro. They really felt like the Straw Hat Pirates, and it was just really putting a smile on my face. I really like the explanation scene of the Grand Line and how much they're hyping up how treacherous of an ocean this is that they're going to one day embark upon, which sadly is not going to be in the first season, which I feel like is going to be a huge letdown for a couple of people, but you know, whatever. Buggy's crew finds them and they take out our crew, which is just so wacky and I love it. And also, what the fuck is this? Like, why is Luffy doing this? And why do I just love it so much? Now then, from this moment on, everything we're seeing is pretty much original. This is a lot of stuff there's some stuff that's borrowed from what actually happens, but this is all like completely unique. which is really scary, but I really actually prefer this to what actually happens in the source material, which I didn't think I would say about the One Piece live action series. 3 Straw Hats are plopped into the center of Buggy's incredible circus, and this is just amazing. What an introduction. Did you say Big Nose? Jeff Ward, the actor who actually plays Buggy, oh my god, he might end up being the best part of this entire show. Because, like, wow, this performance was just spectacular. Every time he was on screen, my eyes were glued to the screen. I couldn't look away. I was so, like, engulfed. Who the fuck even is this guy? I don't even know who he is. The jokes in this section were actually landing, and I really liked the nose joke, man. I loved it, and he was like squishing Luffy's face. Can we just talk about this? The applause sign. This might be the best change in this entire section. So originally in the manga and in the anime, the townspeople, they don't really get involved with Buggy and the crew. I actually think they show up when Buggy's crew is actually defeated already. Now we see that they're there and they're all locked up by Buggy's crew, and Buggy had destroyed their town, and they're forced to watch Buggy's Oscar-worthy performance. This is just so sick. This is so dark, and I love it. I do have one complaint. Maybe it'll take place in a different episode, but I really do wish we got to see Buggy's actual backstory. He was hyping up the fact that Shanks betrayed him in the past. I want to see it. I understand that we didn't, and I think the pacing of the narrative was a lot better that we didn't, because we were already seeing sprinkles of Luffy's backstory. But Buggy's backstory is so cool, and there's a very specific character in that backstory I'm just curious if they were going to show. For people who know, you know what I'm talking about. I just wanted to know if he was going to be there. That's it. Now then, we get this little side section with Zoro and Nami and them, you know, having their little dynamic or whatever, which I don't know, I just really liked. I just really liked the Straw Hats interacting with one another, and I like the fact that Luffy doesn't have to be there for the rest of the Straw Hats to work. Dude, Zoro and Sanji's rivalry, I cannot wait to see it. Also, Sanji simping over Nami, I can't wait to see it. Also, Usopp interacting with Luffy, I can't wait to see it. I'm so excited for the rest of this series. So now we're at the climax of this episode, and honestly, man, this could have ruined the entire episode. Not gonna lie, if the CGI final battle was bad. And I will say, Buggy's Devil Fruit was perfect. It genuinely looked really good. Like, as good as I feel like you could get something like this to look. I was actually impressed watching it and how much I just didn't mind what I was seeing. So yeah, I don't have a single complaint. Not a single one. Not a single one. Not one. I have one. I have one complaint about Buggy's Devil Fruit. And that's the fact that they changed it. Getting a little technical here. Buggy's feet aren't actually supposed to be leaving the floor. Buggy's feet are supposed to stay planted on the floor. They're not allowed to fly up into the air. But he does it. I don't know. But yeah, overall, this scene was fantastic. And it leads up to this, which is just like, why does this look good? Like, it actually looks good. It doesn't look bad. I want a little statue of this. Like, can they release merch with this? And then I want it there. I want to put it right there and just have it be there. And I want it to look creepy as fuck too. Like, I want to look at it and be like, oh my god. And then I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's my Buggy statue. I hope this isn't the last we see of Buggy in this first season. There's a part of me that feels like it might be. Maybe he'll show up towards the end, or maybe we'll get like a little side story of him sprinkled throughout. That would be really nice. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to cover. First of all, Garp and KOBY's dynamic. Okay, these scenes, they were working. Like, I was getting behind it. I don't really know where this is gonna go though. I feel like this is gonna be a very empty subplot where Garp and KOBY are just chasing the Straw Hats, but then the Straw Hats continuously get away. What is this even gonna climax towards? It just doesn't make any sense to me where they could possibly be going with this. Next, we got Luffy's backstory. Okay, so first of all, I wasn't really entirely sold on the Shanks actor, or like Shanks in general in this live action. But I will say, towards the end of the second episode, I was starting to really, really like Shanks. Makino is a standout for me I want to touch on. She was one of the characters I actually kind of didn't really like in this live action. She didn't feel like the nice, caring, sweet Makino to me. She honestly felt like if they took Makino's character and Dadan's character and combined it into one. Maybe that's what they're actually going for in this live action series. We don't really know. Maybe down the line we don't actually get to see Dadan. Yeah, when I'm not going to talk about it in case people don't actually know. Shanks' crew is fucking incredible, especially Lucky Roo and USOPP. Oh my god, USOPP. Dude, it like seeing scenes of him just makes me even more excited for the next couple of episodes, because I'm just Usopp, man. Like, are you gonna kill it? Is the actor going to kill it? Are you going to do good? You better do good, man. But yeah, USOPP was sick. These two, they were just great. I loved the fact that we actually got to see Shanks' crew fight. Is this the first time we've ever seen Shanks' crew fight? I actually think it is. Ben Beckman, I don't know about his actor and like his portrayal of the character. I feel like I'm gonna need a couple more scenes with him. He just didn't feel like Ben Beckman to me. The backstory is pretty unchanged, which I like. I mean, they could have changed it. Honestly, at this point, I have full faith in the fact that they would be able to make it be good. My friends pointed out this detail. I didn't even notice that they're playing Binks' sake in the background. What the heck? That's really cool. Can we talk about this? So when the sea monster appears, Shanks losing his arm, like what? Like what? Like, he lost his arm then? Like, it just didn't feel like losing your arm worthy. Does that make any sense? Like, the monster just came out and then Shanks was like, oh my god. And it's just like, next scene, he just doesn't have an arm anymore. It didn't feel like he should have lost an arm there. Also, Shanks uses hockey, which is what? Okay. Look, I know in the One Piece community, all of us nerds, we like to say, oh my god, the first time hockey was in the series was in chapter 1. Shanks uses it against the sea monster. That's why it runs off. Oda, he did it again. The foreshadowing is insane. Let's be honest here. Shanks, like, he didn't do that, right? He didn't do that. Because, like, Oda didn't think of it yet. But they added the fact that he used hockey in the live action, so I guess it is confirmed, which is like, that was a really nice change. And it's like, you could tell that these are just a bunch of fans and a bunch of nerds sitting around the table like, yo bro, you want to just make Shanks actually use hockey this time? Like, yeah, that's a great idea. So cool, dude. So cool. I really liked the scene of Luffy getting the hat. I got a little bit emotional. I started tearing up when I saw that part. I couldn't hold it in, man. It's just such a great moment. Episode 2 overall, I would give a 10 out of 10. I actually just do not have any complaints with it. Like, I do have little gripes here and there, but nothing bad. Like, genuinely, I just thought this was like as perfect of an adaptation of this section as it could have possibly been. Also, dude, they had Chow Chow. Like, they showed him. They did not forget the legend himself. Like, he was there. Wow. Wow. Overall, I'm just very impressed with this live action. I thought it was going to be bad. It's not bad. So over the course of the next couple weeks, I'll be releasing 3 more videos on the live action, just going over my reaction of the live action. Let me know down below what you actually thought of the live action. I'm curious. Did you actually like it, or did you think it was bad? Yeah, guys, hit the subscribe button, hit like, and I'll see you in the next video.